My good friend David Scott Peters is going to be here in just a few minutes. We had dinner the other night at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse right here on the Las Vegas Strip. And it was interesting because he pointed out a couple of things there that you would think a place like Ruth's Chris would do better. We're going to have a conversation about this, and David is going to tell you how to keep your employees from sabotaging your restaurant. He'll be here in just a few minutes. David, you and I had dinner the other night at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse right here on the Las Vegas Strip, and as good an operation as they run, as good as the food is, you picked up on two things the server was doing that kind of shocked you for a high-end restaurant like this. I want to share those with my viewer, what you would do different, and when we're done talking about them, let's dig a little bit deeper, because every time we get together, you're noticing something at a restaurant, and I think this will bring a lot of value to my viewers. So, you ready?
I think the biggest thing that shocked me was when our server came to us and said, "Is everything okay?" Because you strive for okay. Mm-hmm. If I were to say, "Hey, how are you doing? You're okay?" It says it sucks, or I'm eh. Yeah. Okay is eh. So you spend all this money, you put all this training in, you put in this credible product, and is everything okay? And so you're really asking the customer, "Does everything suck?" And we said yes. Mm-hmm. Right? We didn't say it was wonderful. Yeah, it sucks.
Right. And this is subconscious, but it is a message that comes into your mind. Is everything fabulous? Is everything delicious?
Was your steak cooked to your
right.
preference, whatever it may be?
What is it that you want to lock into that customer's memory from this experience? And he did that twice when he came by. Is everything okay? And I thought, yeah. That's shocking for this place. We are on Ruth's Chris, overlooking the Las Vegas Strip, and we're paying over what, $300 for dinner, and is everything okay?
Yeah,
crazy.
It just like nails on a chalkboard for me.
Yeah. What was the other thing?
The other thing is basically coming over to the table. They have team service, so everybody should be knowing front server, back server, know what's going on in the table. They've got a POS system with all the information, and eventually, I need a drink. I'm just drinking a diet soda, and we have the back server come up and go, "Can I get you? What are you drinking? Iced tea? No, diet mm-hmm. soda." Okay, and goes off. There should have been no question asked, because the server did it later, just dropped and took what probably had a quarter left in that drink. Mm-hmm. That's how it's supposed to be done. Right. Because one of the things when it comes to customer service, when it comes to creating a wow experience, is never break the connection between us. If I have to stop and look and ask for something, like, for instance, they had dropped the steaks without a steak knife already being there, and we're having a great conversation, and I have to go, what, can I get a steak knife? You've ruined the evening. Mm-hmm. Great hospitality is really when you don't break the connection. When you and I can walk out, we had a great time. Exactly. Well, that place great.
I'm going to share one from my experience, and then I'll ask you for a few more from some of the other places, because I don't think I've ever had dinner with you anywhere that you haven't picked something apart, and I'm sure you got a ton of them. So I am with a group of maybe 4 or 5 people. Can't remember the restaurant, but it was busy, and we're in there, and dinner's over. And you talk about breaking a connection. I am telling a joke. I am just getting to the punchline. And the waiter comes up. "Excuse me, would any of you like dessert?" I said, "Dude, you just interrupted me in the middle of a joke. Come back in 2 minutes." And that's how I put it to him. And I thought, it's all about him. He showed up at the table. It's time to interrupt everybody. I'm here. When I used to eat at Nick's Fish Market in Waikiki, that was where I came to see a level of service that you rarely see. It was invisible. Silverware that you'd use could get traded out. You'd be talking to somebody and you're like, "Oh my God, there's a new fork here." Boy, they come by and they get that crumb off the table, but just very stealth. Never interrupted. They come by. If you're busy, they keep going. They come back. They're watching. Very well trained. Hit me with some more.
Well, I think some of my pet peeves. Let's wrap it back and say, what is a great dining experience? It's when, again, the connection never broken. So let's talk about what a good experience looks like. And that is where you and I walk into a restaurant. Let's say it's a full service restaurant and our connection isn't broken. We're immediately greeted by the host. Hey, would you like to be seated? How many in your party? Whatever it may be. One of the biggest mistakes I started making, especially when I travel alone, is just one. Hey, loser, it's just you? Like, you got to be kidding me. You don't want my wallet? It's just one, just two. Like, you guys are losers. You know, it just those little cues. It's walking through the restaurant as you're being seated and you're not chasing a host. They need to be with you. Hey, is everything great? Did you have a good day? Whatever it may be, first time here. They need to connect and slowly walk with you, especially if, let's say, you're with somebody, a senior that is walking really slowly. You do not take off and say, hurry up, I've got something to do here. It's little things like making sure that we follow the steps of service and that we're greeted at our table within 2 minutes.
Let me get your take then. What you just said, I see that in restaurants all the time. You go in, you're chasing this hostess to your table. They have the opportunity to kind of bond right there. Have you dined here before? If they don't know, is it your first time? You know, they can ask you a few questions and start to make that connection. Is it a special occasion? What should the hostess say if it's one person? Well,
I think it's just how many in your party. It's asking the question the right way. It's not making me feel like a loser and a loner. It's how many in your party, not just one. And is anybody dining with you this evening? That's really simple. Don't make me feel like a loser.
Right. Okay. So at the table, when the server is there, we already talked about, is everything okay? I think we've kind of covered that. Was it delicious? Everything fabulous? A positive.
Well, I think that the biggest thing, let's kind of back it up. If you truly want to have a great experience, I don't want a chain restaurant experience where I walk up, hi, my name's David. I don't know you, David. I don't care who you are. First thing should be bonding. Hey, those are great shoes. Man, I used to have a pair of those. Those are awesome. Hey, where'd you get that bag? Oh, I see you went shopping. Did you have a good time? Are you from out of town? Whatever it is. Start to bond with them on something small. Just find a little conversation starter. Then go through your, have you been here before? If not, now it's our opportunity to sell. Let them know a little bit. Let me tell you a couple things you want to look at on the menu. So I'm already giving the insider thing, not, if I ask what's good on the menu, well, everything's good. No, tell me the things that are awesome. Make my experience fantastic. And then as you say, let me take your drink order and take drink order. I'll be back. You start to walk away and you turn back, go, oh, by the way, my name's David. If you need anything, I'm here for you.
Nice.
Right? Develop a relationship first, not my name is David. Just wrote and like, oh, wow, you don't really care about me.
Yeah.
And so as the evening goes on, it's making sure that we follow steps of service, check back, all those different things that we never look for. That soda. Don't take my business partner shared with something that I never paid attention to over the years. And was don't take my soda away from the table with a straw. Because I don't know when you take the other person's soda, whether that's my soda.
I know.
And sure enough, on one experience, my son, when he was a teenager and he had braces, he had fettuccine Alfredo. I can still see it. Couldn't suck with his lips, right? So he had all this fettuccine Alfredo on the end of the straw. That showed up in front of my ass, and I was not happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my goodness, don't take my soda away from me.
Good one, because that annoys me when, they disappear with two glasses, and then they bring them back, and you're going, how did he know which one's mine?
That's right.
I
know I mix them up. We go to quick service. I have to tell myself my wife's in my right hand, I'm in my left hand. So how are these people doing it? And so it's those little things. It's also when you have, I've ordered a soup, you better drop a soup spoon. It's called marking the table. So that when the soup drops, I'm not going, crap, I need a spoon. And we break our conversation, steak knife, and so on. It's also kind of counterintuitive. In our industry over the years, we talk about pre-bussing. If you want to move the tables, if you see something pre-bus, get it out of there. Well, if you and I are eating, you're still halfway through your meal. I'm finished mine because I'm a pig. Don't take mine because it said, hurry up. I just made you feel like you are pressured. Oh my gosh. Sometimes it's okay to leave the dirty dish, clear other things, but don't make the guests feel like, I got to get out of here. Look, they're already finished. They want me out.
Yeah.
It's little things like steps of service that are kind of outside of the table. If you go to a restaurant and say, excuse me, can you tell me where the restroom is? Well, it's right over there. Can't you see the sign? Versus follow me. It's walking through a restaurant and there's this busser with a bus tub just full. And like, I got to get to the kitchen. And they're running. And you as a customer have to get out of their way. Bullshit. You stop, you open up. Is there anything I can help you? And let the customer go by. It's those little things that say we are customer centric.
And you know what? And the reason I wanted you for this conversation, I told you, is that I really feel this is part of your marketing is the experience. Maybe some people would put it under operations, but marketing is every touch point and message to a customer, whether it's advertising, a promotion, how you answer the phone, and all of these could be put under how to market your restaurant, to outcompete all the other bozos around town is simply that hospitality, that service that leaves an impression.
Absolutely. There's no better marketing than in your four walls, that experience. And Yelp and TripAdvisor are exposing most restaurants of how bad we are. And the fact of the matter is, if I have an incredible experience with you, and we never break our conversation, everything, our needs were anticipated for us, and we walk out, man, that was awesome. This place was great. It was because you and I had a great conversation. I'm coming back time and time and time again. And it's those little things that separate you from every bad restaurant. We've gotten to a point where mediocre service is acceptable. Like, that's great service. If you just freaking drop my plate on time and clear things and give me a check on time, wow, this place, great service. Instead of truly letting the guest bond and make sure nothing they want for nothing. It's paying attention to it as a business meeting, or whether you're telling a joke, or what are the needs, and you find that out up front. And so, great service is trained. It's not an instinctual thing. For some, it is. It's very few. It is trained, and it's truly training those steps of service so that the guest gets the same damn experience every single time, and that's what drives you back.
In-N-Out Burger, I did an article on this years ago. What's the secret? How do they hire such good talent? And what I learned from talking to an ex-manager is that when they come into a new market, they pay just a little bit more. But that allows them to have the cream of the crop, because they put that sign out, we're hiring. If everybody else is paying $7 an hour, they say, we're paying $9. Then everybody comes in, wants a job. They hire smiling faces, because they say, we can teach the job, we can't teach the personality. So, would it make sense for an owner, if he's struggling, you can train some people, maybe you go out to a few restaurants, and when you find a really good server, hey, if you're ever looking for a job, buddy, I'd love to have you at my place.
There's nothing wrong with trying to steal from somebody else. And especially today when there's 4%, under 4% unemployment, there's not enough servers, cooks, or anything to go around. By all means. But I really love what you keyed in on as far as I hire personality first. I can teach anybody to count a bar drawer out. I can teach anybody steps of service, but I can't teach you to smile. And it's kind of funny. You talk about In-N-Out Burger. I met with somebody who talked with an owner of one of the Chick-fil-A's, the manager owners. And they said in the interview, they've got this long, huge list of interview questions. But in the first 3 questions, if they don't smile or laugh, the interview ends. Nice. Because you have to have the personality. So we talk about culture fit. Does it fit? Because there are people that belong in fine dining that could not make it in a sports bar because they're not loose at all, right? You got to be loose and have a good time, and you're still following steps of service, but it's a different experience. Vice versa, if I take a server that worked in a sports bar that was loose and goosey, I take them to fine dining, they may not fit at all because you may be very stern and everything crisp and everything is very proper, and that's not their personality. So make sure they fit your culture, who you are. And so this kind of goes back to marketing 101 for me is, do you know what your core values are? So that you can communicate to the guests, to your employees, and say, this is the experience you expect. This is who we are.
Yeah, another thing, pet peeve is when that server brings the drink over like this. Whoa, dude. Bring me a straw.
That's a bigger thing now because straws are dying.
Yeah.
Right? Ever since what's going on. And I'm all for saving the environment and what have you. But, I watch kids now, millennials and younger, who buy these metal straws or aluminum straws.
Yep, my daughter has one.
Putting them in their Starbucks cup that's plastic, right?
Yeah.
And you go, wait a second, what are you doing? Well, I understand turtles and all this stuff. But now the straws are disappearing. So this becomes even worse, right? Because
Yeah.
at least we saw it come this way. I had a straw to get in there, and I could avoid the hepatitis you just shared with me.
Right.
And this goes back to training.
Yeah.
It's no different. Makes it even worse is if you're in a bar, and I'm guilty of it when I was a manager. We're balls to the wall busy, and you take 4 tall Pilsners with your fingers so you could clear.
Mm-hmm.
Now, did I go wash my hands? No. And so really important that we start training properly.
Give me another pet peeve.
Gosh, there's so many. It's so easy when I'm in the thing.
Let me ask you this then. How does a server not overdo it at the table? Because I think we've all been bugged by that one that just thinks they want to become part of the party, and I think they're working the tip or something. But how do you know when to engage and when to just back away?
You really got to read the table, and often it's I kind of did a speech one day on bartenders, and it's reading the guests, because you got the guy with the laptop and it says leave him alone. Just make sure you don't forget about him. Don't leave him completely alone. Is there anything else I can get you? Everything good? Da-da. Whereas there's the people that are couple that's sitting there and they're staring dead at you. And they want you to be engaged. They're giving you cues, entertain us, engage. Then there's the group that's having a wonderful time. You can engage, but you don't want to become their party, right? Mm-hmm. Overdo and put yourself in there. So you have to read each guest, their cues. Why are they there? And so often in the beginning, you ask, is there a special occasion? Is there anything, that I should know why you guys are here? And so, hey, we're just having a quick business meeting. They've already told you, oh, we're celebrating an anniversary. They're already telling you, hey, we're out of town. Mm-hmm. Ask the questions. That's where that beginning, that first 30 seconds to bond with them at the table sets the stage.
I would think even role playing during training would be helpful for that. It's like, bring the new server up, somebody sitting there with their laptop. Okay, how are you going to engage this customer? And
it needs to be trained and role-played every day at pre-shift. Bottom line is training is ongoing. Just because they went through training one time doesn't mean they got it. It also means that managers have to listen and correct on the spot, not bury their head in the sand, which I'll give you my probably one big pet peeve to add on when it comes to managers, because that's what triggered it for me, is the chain restaurant policy. It says you must touch every table at lunch. And so they've been in the back for an hour, and then they come out, how's everything? How's everything? How's everything? How's everything? And you're like, oh, wow, that feels really personal. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you stop by, walk the circle, say hi to somebody else, meaning you check on the table, and just keep walking that figure 8, that circle. Don't make it look so rote.
Mm-hmm. I think the manager, they have a good opportunity to do that little extra something sometimes, like, here's a table of 4. It's their first time, and I just checked in. Everything was great. Comp them a dessert or something. It's their first time. They're having that good experience. The manager stopped by, and then the manager comped them something. Again, the feeling they leave with is, oh, that was nice.
So if you take that one step further, there are restaurants that have done things where they have a different color napkin. If the host or the server has figured out it's their first time, we're usually supposed to drop cocktail napkins to say, I've taken their drink order. So the manager can walk by and go, oh, they've been taken care of. Mm-hmm. Well, instead of a white napkin, it's a black napkin, which says to the whole restaurant, they're new. Wow the hell out of them.
Good tip.
And now if they know that, the manager, in fact, instead of comping something right then and there, it's a card and it's a bounce back. Next time you come in, your appetizer's on me. Because now you're bringing me back. You're saying I had a wonderful experience and I want to come back. And that's that invite. So I personally, I'd rather bring them back as a bounce back versus comp them right then and there.
Yeah. We'll finish up here with, I'm going to bring Yelp into this, because a lot of what we talked about goes to that, is where your customers are now more in charge of your reputation than you've ever been. What we find with a lot of our clients is when we're helping them with their Yelp profiles, is that almost all of these crappy reviews are the result of a customer feeling disrespected. So something went wrong, wasn't handled well, and they'll lash out at the server, they'll lash out at the manager. Owners got to understand that their customers are now in charge of their reputation, and it's not going back in the can. So as far as solving a problem How do you recommend that folks do this? Would it be at the server levels, the manager get involved? Is there an escalation protocol that you would have to dial back a bad experience?
Well, it's truly making sure that your servers, your frontline defense, is paying attention to a guest experience, not ignoring it. So, for instance, often a server wants to ignore that something went wrong and like, is everything okay? Kind of goes back to because they really want it to be okay, that they can walk away.
Yeah.
They know the ticket was long. They know their service was bad. They know the food was bad. Something where they just know it and they want to avoid it. They let it go out in the Yelp. So it's also, we have the problem with managers who hear that there was a mistake and go, oh, just comp them something.
Right.
And they don't want to go out and take the arrows. And the truth of the matter is, you need to have a policy that nobody leaves this restaurant having a bad experience. That if we know for a fact, and we should do our very best to find every bad experience, if we know for a fact it's a bad experience, we do everything I can to change it because it's a visceral experience. If something's going wrong, you feel it deep in your soul, inside your gut. You remember it. It is anchored as I know this restaurant, I know this experience, and you know that memory.
And you can get even right now.
Right now. Absolutely. And so all of a sudden you sit there and say, okay, if I see that as an opportunity to turn that around, right? You've had a bad experience. I'm going to do everything I can to turn that around. Well, all of a sudden you've got a customer for life.
Yep.
Truly, there's no more powerful marketing experience in the world than take something that's already been anchored as a negative and anchor it as a positive. They were so wonderful. Give, for instance, my business partner, when his restaurant knew that they had customers that had a bad experience at other restaurants, and we're like, we're gonna, and they had a bad experience with theirs, and he's like, oh my gosh, we're so not going to do this anymore, and we're going to go out of our way. You take care of table, whatever. Well, sure enough, there's a mistake.
Yeah.
And he wants to just die. But he happened to know, because he listened, that they loved their martini glasses. They're these specialty martini glasses. And he put 2 in a bag, brought them over and said, we are so sorry, da-da-da. And, oh, you didn't need to do that, da-da-da, right? And all of a sudden, they booked weddings, and they booked retirement parties, and they booked, and they were in every single week and so on. It took this incredible negative and made it an incredible positive. And that's the power. Keep it off of Yelp. Get it, or in fact, if it's going to go into Yelp, we want to make sure that it is a great experience.
Yeah. Well, so the key here, what I liked about dropping the black napkins is that now, they should give everybody a great experience, but knowing for sure that it's a new customer, this is an opportunity for the entire front of the line crew to see that this is a new customer, their very first experience in this restaurant, and it better go off without a hitch. I love that idea.
Absolutely. Wow them. Let's put it this way. We all have about 8-10 restaurants we go to, right?
Yep.
If I go to where are we going? We run through the same set of restaurants. And so if I take a chance and go to you new, or I'm brand new to your marketplace, and this is my first experience, you've got a chance to grab that lifetime value of that customer right then and there.
Yep.
To put me in that rotation of those 8-10 restaurants, because that's all I go to, unless we're out of our comfort zone.
And that's why that bounce back is so powerful. For the first time guest is, we really appreciate you stopping in. Here's something I'd love to see you again. David, it's been fantastic as usual. You got so much good, stuff to share with everybody. And everybody can find you at therestaurantexpert.com. Your website's full of great, you got a lot of good blogs on there. Your YouTube channel is an endless supply of knowledge. So anyway, buddy, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.